What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about being permanently suspended from Twitter. I didn't think I'd ever really have to make a video on this, and I'm making a video for a couple different reasons, trying to, update you guys, maybe to kind of bring awareness, whether it's from my community or other people, because what it honestly seems to be is a glitch. Now, I'll talk about this as we go on, but when this happened, I had started to look it up. There's actually other YouTube channels, smaller, but still, very, very valid, that have talked about the exact same thing as what I'm about to talk about. I saw one article in the UK talking about it. It seems like maybe when they made the switch, Twitter did, on February 1st, right? On February 1st, you could appeal suspensions. So if you were permanently suspended, which lucky me, I guess, right? Because starting 2 weeks ago, you could appeal it and they'll look at it. So hopefully mine gets looked at, and I'll talk you through where I'm at with it. But maybe when that happened, some sort of bug went out, and that's affecting certain channels. But I have been seeing from different YouTube channels, their videos, and then also in their comments, different people saying, yeah, I was suspended literally for no reason. I do art, like I do like graphics, and I don't steal anything. Like I see that kind of stuff all over the place. So I do think this is a widespread issue. Maybe I hope actually it impacts more people, right? So more people talk about it, because I don't know who it's impacting. So, I was messaging actually a very good friend of the channel. He'll know who he is, as he's watching this, and all of a sudden it says you can't message. And I was like, did he block me? And like that, honestly, it's the first thing I thought of. I've been burned before. So, I was thinking, okay, well, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, it says your account was permanently suspended. And I said, all right, well, that makes more sense than being blocked. So let's read it. I don't think it's illegal to do this. Let's go to it and let's read what it says when you're permanently suspended. Your account is permanently suspended in all black. Very good. After careful review, and this is the kicker, because again, I think because it's a glitch, this is not actually true. After careful review, we determined your account broke the Twitter rules. Doesn't tell you which. Your account is permanently in read-only mode, which means you can't tweet, retweet, or like content. You won't be able to create new accounts, right? Because I think that's ban evasion. If you think we got this wrong, you can submit an appeal. Well, the thing is, there's no reasoning. Now, part of the reason why people believe this is a glitch, and why I believe I'm part of that group, right? Two kind of different groups. You have to first believe it's a glitch, and then you have to believe you're part of that group, and not that I actually did anything wrong. I could have done something wrong, and I just didn't know. I really don't think so. The last thing I did on Twitter was make a pinned comment or pinned tweet on my third channel, right? So I linked, or I tweeted, I guess I tweeted the YouTube link for Podcast Now Back to the Past, and I pinned it. And, when I got suspended, I was thinking, all right, well, there's only a couple things it could have been, to be flat out honest with you. I thought that may have been something, but I think of, honestly, the inspiration for that channel is Mr. Maddie Plays and Retro Rebound, right? His two channels. And I went on his Twitter, because I remembered, well, wasn't that his pinned comment? And yeah, you can go around Twitter, and there's people with their pinned comment being a YouTube channel, right? Because Elon, one of those new-ish rules, your Twitter account can't exist solely to push people to other platforms, which actually, it does make sense. I think the way people interpreted it, or maybe the way Twitter dishes out the punishment, is if you link anything. But I mean, I honestly believe you have to exist on Twitter only to get people to go to other places. If you do that, that's what gets you banned, right? And that's not what I was doing, and I've seen other people do exactly the same thing I did. So it couldn't be that. Then I thought, well, like false reporting, right? Like false flagging. The only thing I can think of is Hogwarts Legacy. I've been a target. I've been impersonated. The impersonator has said some really bad things. It's been passed around from a gaming journalist. It became a really big deal. It got taken down. Everything's fine. Everything was fine. Like, it got solved within like 3 hours, so that was good. I don't know if that, if other people maybe reported me and said, oh, this account, they have a YouTube channel that's saying all these things, even though that's not actually me. I don't even think that's around anymore, so I don't think that could be happening. So those were, I'm dead serious, those are the only two things I could think of is, did I break the rule of linking to a, different place? But, I mean, again, I really don't think it's that. And then were there false reports on me? But here's the thing. The glitch, from what I understand from these other people that are talking about it, is, well, when you get suspended, or I guess permanently suspended, right, you can look at their rule list and it'll say this is the worst crime, right? This is the worst punishment, because you can get locked out of your Twitter. That's the thing too. You could be locked out of your Twitter for like a couple hours or a day or two, or be told to take something down and then you'll be let back on. I was the worst offender. Like, this is the worst offense you can do. But when you have this worst offense, they're supposed to give you a reason. They're supposed to tell you directly through email, I believe, before you're suspended. They're supposed to tell you what rule you broke and what's the tweet that did it. That's what they're supposed to send you. I didn't get an email. So that's why I firmly believe that this is a glitch, because I literally have no reason why this happened, and you're supposed to give one. So now that's kind of the behind the scenes stuff. I filed a appeal. It said it could take up to 5 to 7 days. So this is day one, like full day one. So I could be gone for another like 4 to 6 days, I guess, at this point. Hopefully it's earlier. And the reason I bring this up, probably should have said this in the beginning of the video, but for those that made it this far, thank you. I bring this up. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. Like, I do care, right? Twitter, and I think I've been very honest with Twitter just in general. Twitter rots the soul. Twitter can be one of the worst places on planet Earth to go, right? I think social media in a lot of ways does way more harm than it does good. But to be honest, the flip side is it does do a lot of good. It really does. Now, it's kind of an odd situation where, I can still read Twitter. I still have all the people I'm following, even though they technically like took them away. You still all kind of follow me, because if I were to be reinstated, it would kind of pop back up. I'm gone right now, but if I were to be reinstated, it would all go back to normal. So I can still read Twitter, like from a business point of view, from, I guess, me creating videos off things I see on Twitter. I can still do that. And that would really hurt, actually, if that disappeared. That's why I want Twitter to stay around, because honestly, you get a lot of content and you just get a lot of ideas. I see news on Twitter, right? Like, it's something that I value. So there's that side of it. But again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I feel really proud. And I would say the same thing if one of my YouTube channels, got hit too. Like, I feel proud about what I did there. I wasn't on Twitter for, like, as much as I'm chronically, addicted to it now, I really wasn't for so long. I jumped on Twitter like May of 2020, maybe. Like, it's not even been 3 years. I was on it before, but I was not, like, I had an account, but I wasn't active. Anybody who followed me, I'd say before of May, I don't know why. I don't know why they followed. After May, I get it. But I grew it to over 5,000, I think 5,038 followers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's the biggest of all time. I'm also not going to sit here and pretend it's nothing. It means something to me. Technically, that's all that matters, I guess, for the purpose of this video. But like, I started from zero, right? I don't have IGN. I don't have like a backing like that to kind of go off of to start a Twitter account or to start a YouTube channel, right? It's just me. I'm proud of who I have here. I'm proud of the followers that are on Twitter. And then I guess from that point of view, that's its biggest strength, right? I read all the comments on YouTube, except for the Scream ones now because of the spoilers going around. I read all the comments. Responding to them is a lot harder. I've made it even more difficult on myself by making a third channel, so I'm literally making more videos than ever before, which is probably not the way you should do it. So I'm not great at responding. But one thing I try to do every so often is Twitter. I'll try to look at who ats me, anybody who retweets or quote tweets me, DMs. I talk to probably more people than I should. I talk to a lot of people on Twitter, a lot. And I think we have like actual conversations. I think there's actual real human beings out there that are really good people that they can get a hold of me. Technically, you still could on YouTube, but I just think Twitter is a lot easier. So I'm not pleased. Like, I don't know. It's hard. Honestly, last night, which is when it happened, I was pretty upset. I actually wasn't as upset as I thought I'd be. Like, if the day ever came where I lost one of these social media things, I thought my life would kind of, like, I don't know, maybe anxiety or whatever. I think I would take it pretty hard. Maybe I wouldn't take it as hard because yesterday, my heart was pounding. Like, I was pretty upset. But I didn't lose my mind. I was playing a game, actually. I watched the Buffalo Sabres hockey. They had an amazing victory last night. So, it didn't hurt too bad. But, I feel proud of what I've done on Twitter. And I do not want that to go away. Like, again, like, I'm still around. So the creating content because of what I see on Twitter, that still exists. But there's also, like, I do value the follower number. I value talking to people. like in a different way than you do anywhere else. Like I truly think that means something. And I think that gives me kind of an edge on other people. Now, Twitter isn't always even necessarily for me. I think the way I talk, because I kind of play devil's advocate, I go back and forth on myself on purpose, but because of the way I talk and my sarcasm, doesn't always play off so well on Twitter. Like sometimes I'll tweet something and people won't know if I'm serious or not. I actually love it when that happens because I think it's the most fun. But at the same time, I still like doing it, even though maybe that's not necessarily for me. I'm proud of what I've done so far. So I don't know. YouTuber, complains about being banned on Twitter. That's, I guess, the idea here. I'm sure people would maybe run with that, but I don't know what I did wrong. I actually believe I didn't do anything wrong, which is pretty upsetting because it's like I'm literally, and people had said this, I made a community tab post on this channel last night, and there were people saying like, dude, you literally talk about games and movies. And it's like, yeah, when you boil it all down, Hogwarts Legacy is like my biggest hot take, and I mean it's the lightest. There are some evil people on Twitter. Like legitimately evil people. There's also people that say and do the worst things on Twitter. Literally the worst things I do is give an opinion on a video game. Like I don't even think I've said anything political. Like I've never endorsed somebody or talked about a law or I don't do that stuff. I've actually made it a point never to do that stuff for as long as I can remember. So like those are my hottest takes, is saying if I like a game maybe that people don't like, or if I don't like a game that people like. That'd be my most controversial hot takes that I have done. That's not ban worthy. It's not even locking me out of my account worthy. So it gets me mad. It gets me frustrated. But at the end of the day, hopefully in the next 4 to 6 days, and I guess one final thing. The thing that maybe upsets me the most is I don't know how to drum up interest. Like this is the only way to drum up interest, which is pretty funny because I think to the YouTube support, right? Or YouTube help, whatever it is, YouTube creators, I don't know. The whole thing where YouTube has nobody on YouTube that you can actually talk to, and the best way of getting YouTube's attention is to go on Twitter. Well, number one, that actually does hurt, right? Because if anything were to happen to me here, I can't get their attention on Twitter. So that's one big problem with it. But also, what's even funnier is Twitter support on Twitter isn't even good. Twitter's main function as a support thing is actually for a different platform, right? Like you would go on Twitter to get YouTube's attention. You can't even go on Twitter to get Twitter's attention. You got to get like Elon Musk's attention at this point. I don't know. But that's what frustrates me maybe the most is I've seen people talk about it, but I mean, we're talking about smaller channels, and I don't think this video is going to get well viewed either. Videos that aren't getting well viewed. And then like one article in the UK. I don't think that's enough for them to... Now, again, the appeal thing, I mean, if it goes through, they look at the account, they say you're good, right? Like hopefully that's literally all it takes. But if this is some sort of glitch, I would like them to admit that there is a glitch and they're working on it. And I haven't seen literally anything. So I'm not asking for people to get banned, but I think it needs to happen to like the right people, like just big names that can make a big fuss about it somewhere else, and then Twitter fixes it. Like, sadly, that's the world we live in. Same thing with YouTube. You need something to happen to big channels in order for there to be a change. If things happen to little channels, nobody cares. I mean, I kind of care, and because it's a reflection of what goes on, but in the reality of things, it has to happen to big name people. Otherwise, you kind of just gloss over. And I'm not big name. Like, again, 5,000, I wouldn't say is small. I think 5,000 is pretty hard to get on Twitter, but it's also not big. So I'm definitely not big enough to like create a movement. So I'll make this video ranting and being in frustration, all that stuff, and we'll see where it goes. Let me know what you think. Get a hold of me here. I technically do have an email. I prefer comments over an email, but you do you. Reach out however you want to reach out, but just know I can't do anything on Twitter. So if you message me, if you're one of the maybe 50 or so people that we kind of go back and forth with on Twitter, I can't message anybody. So there's that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.